Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. I'm Ayesee, back with another RepCast. This is going to be number 4 for me, and I'm going to get to cast 2 teams I haven't got to cast at all. I used to cast Absolute Legends way back in the day for monthly madness and all that fun stuff, but haven't casted them since they remade themselves. I'm looking forward to that, and of course the MYM squad. Have not had a chance to cast them yet, and chock full of talent on both sides, so really looking forward to this. This replay is taking from the Premier League number 3, and I'll have links in the video description to that if you want to check it out for yourself. If you say, hey, you know what, this caster's awesome, but I still want to see it again by another caster, you can do that. Or if you hate me, if you don't dig it at all, I'll link you back to the source. That's just how nice of a guy I happen to be. So, let's talk a little bit about AL and MYM. MYM full of familiar names, if you keep up with Dota 2. And same with AL, really. I mean, taking a look at AL, Bambo playing with them in this game. Bambo, who did depart 0 right before this game was played. And yeah, again, it's one of those. This is exciting to me because I have yet to cast either of these squads under any circumstances, at least with their current lineups. But there are a lot of familiar names, and certainly a hell of a lot of talent on both sides. The one that stands out the most, of course, on the side of MYM is Bucking Mad, and it's FMad347 he's standing in. But anyway, enough about that. How about we talk about the picks and the bans that are going on right now? We're going to have Bad Rider and Dirge taken out by Absolute Legends. Pretty much 2 of the standard 4 bans now. I mean, it's rare to see Bad Rider make it into play anymore. He's basically the new Darkseer, which, and again, you can look, and it kind of amazes me. Darkseer valued so highly. Got hit with the ban, or excuse me, with the Nerf Hammer a little bit. So he's now slipping into play a little bit more, and I bet we're going to see MYM pick him up here. Queen of Pain picked up a little absurdly early for Absolute Legends. Not to say it's necessarily a horrible pick, which it's not by any stretch of the imagination. But to see Queen of Pain picked up this early, prioritized above such other high-value heroes is a little surprising. And they are going to go ahead and get the Darkseer into their lineup for MYM. But back to Queen of Pain again, and Lesh. I mean, that's fine. Leshrac has kind of fallen in popularity a little bit. You see him picked in the second phase a lot more often now, and banned in the second phase. Originally a hero that was picked up early in almost every game, but yeah, like right there, that's kind of what bothers me. I'm glad they got him in the long run. Taking the Queen of Pain this early, they just about gave away his Finn, and I can tell you right now, if MYM had gone TA Darkseer's Finn, that basically fleshes out their entire game, no matter what supports they decide to put alongside them. Lesh, though, I guess basically what that tells me is MYM was placing a much higher priority on making sure they had a strong laning phase. They didn't want to take a chance on all the high-value supports being banned out in the second ban phase. They wanted to get that, and they were willing to give away a Sven to make that happen. So we'll talk briefly about that. Chen being banned by MYM, and again, I have not casted these squads at all. I've been spending all my time occasionally doing RepCast, but more so than anything, of course, casting the D2L, which just wound up its playoff, so the VODs are available for that, and you should check those out if you haven't already. But for the most part, Chen, at least the games I've casted and the teams I've been spending the last 2 months casting, has really not been a valued hero in most part. I mean, we just rarely see him played, or at least I have rarely seen him played lately. And I mean, he's as an established hero as you're going to have in Dota 2. I mean, we know his strengths. He's exceptionally good coming out of the jungle in a defensive tri-lane and pushing early towers. His heal, his ulti is certainly good through all stages of the game, never stops being good. He's just a high-impact hero. The problem is the shifting meta of Dota 2 has begun to put a lot more emphasis on taking towers off of kills as opposed to just pushing towers in the traditional way, which is just getting everyone together, shoving up, beginning to be slow about it, trying to force fights, or at least trying to force reactions out of your opponents that are in most cases not to their advantage. That was always Chen's strength. That has fallen off in a lot of ways and across a lot of geographic regions. So to see them prioritize banning him out is a little bit of a surprise, and it was at least worth talking about. Broodmother and Wisp taken out by MYM. I don't mind those too much. Broodmother, kind of has the same problem Chen does. Is very, very particular in her usefulness. Really needs to be able to stay stationary in one lane, dominate that lane, and farm up. But even then, even with a copious amount of farm, Broodmother just doesn't carry that hard. The innate limitations of the hero make it so she can be a liability in the late game, even if she's absurdly farmed. I mean, if she gets something like 10 kills in lane, I mean, yeah, you can talk about that. But more than anything, you pick a Broodmother just to take a lot of early towers, which would have fit in with the Chen as well. And it looks like that's what they were sniffing that AL might have been doing. But to be honest, sitting back in my chair, as comfy as it is, I don't really see that. Whenever I look at AL's lineup right now, you're going to have good long-range initiation out of the Jakiro. Queen of Pain's going to give you a ton of mobility. Warcry from Sven helps him in the mobility department as well, not to mention the entire team. And I see a lot of AoE potential right now. You're going to have the Stormhammer to keep an entire team locked in place. You're going to have Queen of Pain with her Sonic Wave, her Scream of Pain, and of course how good she is just as a mid-lane hero in general, especially matching up against the TA. And I'm going to guess that's why they prioritized her as highly as they did, but I don't think Queen of Pain was going to get banned at any point. I mean, when you think about heroes that counter TA, a bunch come to mind. There are ways that you can shut her down, but Queen of Pain is, while on that list and actually high up on that list in at least one or two regards, just isn't banned all that often. So, but again, for AL, they certainly have their priorities in line, putting her on a very high pedestal, taking her in that second slot. But Jakiro actually, one-on-one versus a TA in mid can cause her some problems. And then we saw that in the D2L playoffs even. Jakiro skipping a single point, or not even a single point, not putting a single point into his ice path, I should say, and opting instead to go dual breath and liquid fire, and it just melts refraction. TA just cannot rely on refraction to keep her safe, and that in turn makes her extremely easy to gank when there's movement coming out of other lanes. So, but yeah, Absolute Legends team right now screams to me early pressure, a lot of early team fighting. And actually, just finished casting RepCast number 3. I'm doing this right off the back of that. And in that game, it was LGD versus DK, game 1 of their best of 3 in the finals of the G1 League. Burning played Sven in a way I'm not a fan of. He basically treated him like a late-game agility carry that just needs to farm and 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 farm, and then is going to go 1v5. That is squandering so much of Sven's potential, and I hope Absolute Legends doesn't make that same mistake. Sven is an absolute monster in lane. He functions well in an offensive and a defensive tri-lane, but more than anything, because of God Strength, all he needs is 1 or 2 core items at most. He can even be behind in farm, and God Strength and just the inherent takiness of the hero, especially once you factor in early points in Warcry to give that bonus armor, just allows him to maul people, maul entire teams in team fights, and you combine that with the AoE damage potential out of a Jakiro, out of a Queen of Pain, and even out of a power shot out of Windrunner. And I'm really liking this draft out of Absolute Legends right now. Meet Your Makers, I feel like has just as solid a team, but I feel like AL has a lot of heroes that all synergize together. Imagine a couple of heroes caught with an Ice Path follow-up, Shackle Shot, the blink hit from Queen of Pain for the Scream and the Sonic Wave. Then you're going to have the Stormhammer to either cap that off and hold them in place even longer for Sven to close the gap, or even to start those fights. Just really good drafting out of AL right now. Taking a look at MYM, they're pretty set in their lanes. I mean, it seems fairly, well, no, I'd check that. I mean, now that they picked up the Beastmaster, it's kind of hard to call. Beastmaster traditionally run out of the long lane, but his long lane performance on the Radiant side, not quite as strong as on the Dire side, just because it's a little tougher to stack those Ancients. You can't pull the Ancients into lane like you can on the Dire side, and it's a little bit iffy to run him in that situation. So looking at the lineup so far, TA you would think would be in mid, and the Night Stalker is going to be farming, but who's going to be there? Is it going to be a pure support Beastmaster, or are we going to have something like a Darkseer actually running it as a pure jungle, just starting in the jungle, staying there, and being part of a tri-lane with a Leshrac and a Night Stalker in lane? And those two can be dangerous on their own. And I'm going to guess the reason they would do that is they're anticipating a Windrunner that's going to be in the long lane. And they know that they can just have a Leshrac and a Night Stalker together, with Darkseer benefiting a lot from early jungle, TA in mid, and then Beastmaster long lane. Or, I mean, there's a lot of ways they could do this. So we're going to keep an eye on how the laning phase shapes up. Still waiting on AL to finish their picking phase here, but already I'm really glad I selected this game. And for those who wonder, the way I select my RepCast is I usually start with an idea of a couple of teams I would like to cast, and then I try and find a replay with at least 1 or 2, or in this case I actually found these 2 teams playing against each other. Oh, okay, now that's fun for me. Lycan has been so forgotten for the most part ever since he was nerfed in patch 6.75. I've casted him one other time. The biggest weakness of Lycan right now is he is so weak in the jungle. He can jungle still yet. I mean, make no mistake, he can still do it. But his speed in the jungle is so low, and he is predominantly treated now as a lane-centric hero. Usually you're going to see him in lane, but based on what we see, Queen of Pain would be the obvious mid. Sven would be the obvious farmer with the support cast going about how you would expect. I want to see where they put him. Are they actually going to run him purely out of the jungle? And if so, the last time I saw Lycan after the patch, he was in lane, so seeing him in jungle would actually be quite fun for me. But enough theory crafting. How about we run through our lineup, see who's on who, while we wait on the lanes to take shape. On the side of MYM, we're going to have Calculus handling our TA. Beastmaster going to be played by Bucking Mad. He's going to be standing in this time around. Looks like we're going to have Baycan01 playing on our Night Stalker. Leshrac going to be played by Ayesee. And Darkseer going to be handled by the Nino. On the other side of the river, Come With Me going to be playing on Lycan. Fun to be casting Come With Me once again. The guy I got to know very early in my casting career. Not super best buds with him or anything, but he was always really kind to me. So much love to him and a shout out of kindness to him. Going to have Sony playing on our Sven. Going to be farming the big guy up. Freezer going to be handling our Windrunner. And Jakiro going to be played by Mania, with Queen of Pain handled by Sexy Bambo. Now, seeing Bambo on a Queen of Pain it puts a big smile on my face. And I hope you guys can hear my smile, if that makes sense. The reason is Bambo is such an extremely high-risk, high-reward player. And then you put him on a high-risk, high-reward, mobility-based hero like a Queen of Pain, and you know you're going to be having a fun time very, very, very soon. Come With Me still sitting back in the spawn as our Lycan. And again, I really want to see how they're going to end up doing this. Jakiro is making his way across mid now. Is he going to head down to bottom and go 2-on-2? Yeah, I mean, both of these teams have some laning options open to them. The Nino may start in the jungle here. I've already got a ward down, blocking this easy camp, which I really like. And this is a big change in the meta. People have just figured out that it is actually really, really strong to take these trees down right here and to go ahead and stack and pull this easy camp. And the Nino going to be very disheartened to find, whoops, no creeps have spawned. If that is indeed his plan, we'll wait and see. But anyway, Lycan is in the jungle. He's already here, and he's already using his wolves to go ahead and pull that easy camp. So getting a little extra help, going to make up for the deficit that Lycan now suffers in terms of trying to jungle after those wolves took the big nerf. Here in mid, look at Bambo. This is what I'm talking about. I mean, just, and that high risk, high reward, that's a lot of damage to take. He's only got a set of tangos and 3 iron branches as well, but that should be enough given he's going to have a bottle and about 75 gold anyway, so rushing that out pretty quickly. It's the same story on the side of Calculus, both going to have their bottles up really, really quickly. For Absolute Legends, though, they're going to have complete free farm here against Bucking Mad. They're not going to have any problem getting their Sven farmed up, and the question is going to become, when is Sven going to get active? When is he going to come out of that lane? Or is he just going to sit and farm? And again, it is an option to just say, you know what, I'm going to treat him like a late-game carry. I really don't like it, though. I feel like it squanders a lot of his potential. And Bucking Mad forced all the way back. He is getting some good experience here, so playing very ballsy and benefiting from it. He's already level 2. And yeah, I mean, Sony's level 2, so you can see how close he's keeping it there. In the meantime, the long lane by Freezer, going to be up against, I guess you'd call it a defensive tri-lane. I don't think Darkseer is going to spend forever here. He's probably going to move around a little bit more. He may even swap Beastmaster out at some point just to allow Beastmaster to get down here and maybe get some more experience once he's zoned out a little bit more with Lycan coming over. Come With Me, making what progress he can, but relatively quiet early game at this stage. And Beastmaster's role in this game is going to be very, very important in terms of counter initiation. Again, you look at AL, and I kind of touched on this quite a bit. Hang on, there's a very fortuitous surge onto Calculus. Going to go ahead and use his bottle up a DD. Always nice to have that at your disposal if and when you want it. But hang on, Freezer's going to be engaged upon. There's a void. He's forced to wind run away. Darkseer's over near middle lane. Are they going to be able to catch him? No boots on anyone so far, so very, very slow. He is running in the wrong direction, though. He's running in no man's land. And yeah, here we go. They're going to go ahead and pursue him, and Freezer may... Oh, he's going to try to heal. I was going to say he may try to find a way to deny himself. Yeah, he's just going to end up dead. Really sloppy first blood, to be completely honest. I mean, it's not awful, but yeah, that's just really, really, really sloppy play out of Freezer. So AL, though, gives away the first blood. Good job by MYM by hemming the Windrunner in. And yeah, that's kind of the danger you run. You need to get that experience, but giving away that first blood's a pretty big deal, especially when you give it to Night Stalker, the one person you really don't want to be giving any help at all. In fact, that's going to complete his urn with another 750 gold in the bank on top of that. Back to the last hits. We can see he and Sven sitting at top as expected, about 15 apiece. 13 for Queen of Pain, so holding her own against the TA. TA's actually coming on the worst of this. And Bambo doing a good job banging on Cat. Oh, that DD doing so much damage, though. Bambo stood and face tanked it as long as he could, just now getting that bottle up. So, ready to continue to bang away. But all in all, Queen of Pain showing why she can do a decent job against a TA. Buckingman's going to spot come with me. Using the Axis, stealing some last hits, doing some damage, but overall just being annoying. He's level 3 now. Back up to Sven. Sven sitting at level 5, so he'll be 6 soon. And here's Bambo. And there's a haste room bottled up. Nah, they're not going to chase him, surely not. Yeah, just going to go ahead and scare him away a little bit. DD is active. But happy to just go back to doing your business, farming up the lane. But, anyway, I was kind of talking about Beastmaster's important role. When you look at Absolute Legends lineup, they've got a lot that they can chain together, not to mention Lycan, who traditionally, his big weakness as a hero, as a damage dealer, I should say. I mean, Lycan pretty much in the professional scene as opposed to the pub scene, as so many call it. In the pub scene, Lycan was known for the longest time as just a snowball sort of a hero that got 1 billion kills when he came out of the jungle because he could jungle so quickly. He would rush up a medallion and then a skull basher, BKB, and that kind of thing, and just roam around the map getting kills. In the pro scene, Lycan has always been known more as a pusher. He can still do good damage. I mean, he's still Lycan. He still hits extremely hard. But now with his slowed down jungling time, oh wow, Bambo and Calculus trading pain here in mid, both going to make it away with about basically less than 100 hit points apiece. And the refraction popped on Calculus. He's gonna, I thought maybe he was gonna think about going for Bambo. Instead, just gonna go back to last hitting, bottling back up, healing himself up just a bit. Bambo's still hanging around and is bottle crowing. So the bottle, yeah, there's 2 bottles right now, empty bottles on that chick. So Bambo's got to be real careful. Calculus is not quite level 6. Will be momentarily, though. But, yeah, I kind of don't want to flash away or get to talking about too much just in case there's some kind of crazy attempt here. Yeah, there's the level 6 side trap. But, yeah, it looks like Bambo should be able to get his bottle. And, yeah, we can see Calculus is playing very calm. Not going to be taking too many chances. But back to Lycan. In the professional scene, known as a pusher more so than anything, even before the nerf and now especially, just because his jungle speed, again, is slowed down. But a big reason for that is how easy he is to kite traditionally. But back to AL's lineup, they've got a lot of things that is going to allow them to chain their abilities together, hold everyone in place. For Sven and for Queen of Pain, I mean, Queen of Pain, a lot of burst AoE potential. Windrunner with the Ice Path to set them up. Set up good shackle shots is going to help out there, not to mention Stormhammer. You get everyone together. One good Stormhammer keeps them in place for quite a while. And that would help Sven and Lycan a ton just to stick on their targets, to maximize their damage. But whenever you take a look at Beastmaster's role in disrupting that, you begin to realize just how important he's going to be the later this game goes. The longer this game goes on, the more concerned about the Beastmaster AL is going to have to be. They are going to have to make him a priority or try at least to bait some targets or some ults out of him that he may not want to spend otherwise. In the meantime, though, night has come, and Night Stalker doing work. He and his teammates take down the tier 1 bottom, so good job by AL. 7 minutes in and only 1 kill on the board. Very slow early game compared to what has become much more standard in Dota, which is a very slow 2 or 3 or 4 minutes even. But then about 5 minutes in, things start to open up and you have a lot of pushing and a lot of early team fight attempts. But now we're beginning to see some movement. Pecan moving towards mid now. Might think about engaging on Bambo. Bambo with a full mana pool, though. Should be able to get away unless he's just locked down completely. Here we go. Nope. Going to be able to blink high. Was going to say he's going to have to lead off with the... he would have had to lead off with the silence. And it looks like he's still not done. Still giving chase. Has to be careful because Lycan's close by. But anyway. 1-0 remains the score. Let's take a look at how things have gone early. 1,000 gold advantage gained by the Radiant. And that's really not surprising. I mean, that's basically 1 tower. So, 1,000 experience advantage for the Dire, though. So, pretty even all around. And at some point, one would think, yep, here we go. They're going to go ahead and silence Freezer. Going to engage. There's the Void. The Ion Shell certainly helping. Windrun comes out. And is it enough? Nope, there's the Void to lock down a kill. That makes it 2-0 MYM. Now Bambo's there, though. Wants to pay back the favor. Split Earth. Good shot by Ayesee. Now with the Edict up, doing good damage. And Bambo is going to drop as well. Big turnaround. Save your buddy syndrome, more often than not, can get you in trouble there. And you understood that was a very vicious dive out of the Night Stalker. So saying to yourself, hey, you know what? If I TP in, I might just get a good kill. But miscalculating the value of Leshrac. And Ayesee landing a fantastic split earth. Really could not have done it better. 3-0. MYM is rolling. They're also 1 tower ahead, looking to make it 2 as Calculus pops the DD rune. Has already got this tower down below half health. Is there going to be any reaction? Mania making his way over on Jakiro now. Got to go ahead and dip down. Here comes Bambo with Lycan not far away in the jungle. And it's refreshing to see this, to see a Night Stalker playing this way. This is a much more old-school style of Night Stalker play. More and more often, I got accustomed to seeing Night Stalkers put a high emphasis on farming the first night. And not to say they wouldn't move around at all, but basically as soon as night came, MYM decided to start pushing. Hang on, we're going to have a Shackle shot that's going to catch Ayesee. Bambo's there, going to hit the Shatter Strike. They don't have a stun. And Bambo whiffs just a little late with the Sonic Wave. And Leshrac sitting very safely back in base for the moment. So good play there out of Ayesee. Second of the game. So first time I've ever casted that player, and I'm very happy to be casting him. He's already putting on quite a show for us. We can see Bucking Mad doing what Beastmaster does, is stack the Ancients and is now beginning to axe them down. He's going to be a level 6 real soon. And again, that's going to be real important to any kind of team fight potential that MYM is going to have moving through towards the mid-game. We're just 10 minutes in, so still quite a lot of Dota to be played. Here they come. They're going to try and shut him down. Warcry popped, and there's the Stormhammer from long distance. Big damage, big follow-up, and I think that proves the point. Looking at AL, when they run together like this, they have so many ways to punish not just one person like they did there, but entire groups if you group up too much. And again, that comes down to the importance of that Beastmaster and him needing to be level 6. MYM wants to counter-engage. Side Trap caught a bunch. There's an Ice Path that catches 2, though. Oh, big follow-up Stormhammer. Sony hulks out. MYM's in trouble. They're on the run, forcing the meld out of the TA to try and keep her safe. Now she's trying to get away. Come With Me has popped the ulti, though, giving... What an Ice Path! Are you kidding me? Across 3 levels of terrain. Here comes Night Stalker, though. Banging away on Come With Me. Bambo's silence can do nothing but auto-attack on Stormhammer on the backside. Here comes Bucking Mad using the ulti, just securing himself a path out of trouble, though. And Pecan going to make it away as well. A lot of big plays out of both teams there. MYM 4-3. They maintain the lead. But AL paying back the favor as best they can. Getting a bunch of kills on the board there. And I got to say, what an Ice Path coming out of Mania there. Let's see, how many times did it change terrain? I'm pretty sure he was down in this area, down on the low ground. And he shot it up over the hump, then it came down on the steps. Just a beautiful, beautiful usage of the spell, and got them one more kill. 12 minutes in, give or take. Actually, make it 11 minutes and 20 seconds. Take a look at the last hit. Sven still sitting on top. He's at 66, Lycan at 56. The top 2 farmers on the side of Absolute Legends. 51 last hits for the TA, 47 for Night Stalker, so they're in range. They're not too far out of it. Back to the goal graph. It's actually dipped back down towards the Dire, and I think that's to be expected, really. AL with that big turnaround there. The experience continues to favor them, however. And this is something they're going to be conscious of, and Mania's going to be there to help Bambo gank Bucking Mad. I like how much attention they're giving to the Beastmaster. Pecan is there, too. He wants to pay the favor back. He's going to get Mania, but he's probably going to end up dead because of it. Oop, nip. Bambo has very little mana. Good bottling and earning. Oh, no, Bambo, you're silenced. Here comes Pecan, trying to chase him down. The creeps got him hemmed in, though. Couple of his own creeps, couple of the enemy creeps, so both end up making it away alive. But, yeah, another fun exchange. 5-4. MYM maintains the advantage. But yeah, they're giving a lot of attention to that Beastmaster, keeping him down, trying to make it his life uncomfortable. I mean, he's going to hit level 6 eventually. But even just keeping that ult at level 1 as long as they can make a big difference. And again, we saw in that engagement up here at the the Radiant Ancients, just how important their ability to chain their skills together is to their success. And a Beastmaster could do so much to interrupt that. Let's take a look through our items, see who's building what. Phase Boots up on Calculus, no surprise. Imagine the Blink Dagger will be coming out soon. That'll be the choice between Deso and BKB per standard. Got a smoke up here on Ayesee, so we'll delay our items for the moment. And Mania's going to be roared out. Caught outside traps there. Doesn't have any help nearby. So MYM adds another kill to their total. Doing a good job maximizing their potential and playing this very opportunistic Dota that their lineup pretty much dictates. And when you look at their whole lineup, that really sums up their lineup as a whole. TA and Night Stalker extremely opportunistic. Leshrac with his splitter, such a high-value spell if you hit it, but you got to time it right. You got to hold on to it until it's the perfect moment. Very opportunistic in that. The vacuum wall that we're going to be seeing out of Nino. He is level 6, has not put a single point into wall. That's not that uncommon. So it's going to be a while before that's a big factor. But the same thing with Bucking Mad with his roar. Very opportunistic ability that when used in the right way can completely swing a fight. And that's going to be MYM's make or break aspect, pretty much. Their key to success is going to be making sure that their opportunistic style that they've picked for themselves is maximizing any opportunities they happen to find. 14 minutes in, and the map very active now. Bambo and Calculus, nope, not going to engage. No problem, easy peasy. Lycan continues the jungle up. He's got himself a Medallion and a Vlad's, so we can expect a Roche attempt coming out before too terribly long. And I'm actually a little surprised he hasn't tried to make his way down there yet. The Medallion will help him out a lot with that. And going with the Medallion means, again, I take that to mean that Absolute Legends tends to fight more with Leshrac than anything else. And now he's going to be roared out. Oh, caught out in the wrong situation. And again, Bucking Mad under the cloak of an Invis Ring. Oh, hang on. Sonic Wave's going to pick up Leshrac on the backside. Bucking Mad now making a run for it. There's going to be a shackle shot that catches Pecan. Mad's going to be taken down as well. The Nino forced to surge himself away. Pecan being banged down by Freezer. Freezer takes a big void, though. In the meantime, Bambo banging on the Nino. Pecan looking to find some kind of safety, as is Calculus. So big reaction out of Absolute Legends ties the score. Make it 7-7. And now they're going to have a chance to push this Tier 1 top. But, yeah, I mean, again, opportunistic Dota. But I really worry for MYM a bit. Just because if they don't manage to pick 1 or 2 people off before these mass team fights, the pure AoE team fight, the pure 5-on-5, everyone's abilities off cooldown advantage, without a doubt, goes to Absolute Legends. There's no question about it. If they have God Strength, Ice Path, 1 good Shackle, I mean, again, I could run through the whole list of spells. And Mania is actually going to be caught with a Side Trap. Going to use an Ice Path. That's going to be dodged by Calculus. Mania's taking a lot of damage. He's going to make it back to his tower. Power Shot forces Calculus to rethink his intentions, though. And now we're going to have a dive onto Freezer. Bucking Mad has his ulti ready. Looking to find someone, and Mania's going to be spotted by the Side Trap. Off go the axes. There's Calculus to seal the deal with the meld. So add another kill to their total. In the meantime, Pecan cutting the creeps. That's going to allow them to go ahead and take the Tier 1 pretty much unfettered. Come with me. Has yet to make his way in the Roche Pit. Now is going to make his way in. He's going to have a DD rune available as well. So he's going to be banging the big guy down pretty quickly. And he's got some help near him too. So I don't think there's a whole lot that MYM can do to challenge this, even if they want to. They may not be too worried about it. But, I mean, obviously they don't want to give it away, but given the objectives they've just taken, and given that they are lacking in health in a lot of ways, this may just, wow, a lot of bad stuns. Roche chain stunning, come with me, making his life a lot harder than it has any business being. Still should have no problem getting it. Again, he has a lot of help on the way. Pretty much all of AL making their way down there now. Come with me is going to get that. So, back to what I was saying about the Lycan with the Medallion. Known more as a pushing hero predominantly in the professional scene, but with that Medallion pickup tells me he's going to be wanting to fight a lot more than push, at least in the early stages. Speaking of Medallions, Bucking Mad has picked one up for himself, no surprise there. Pretty standard stuff, gives you a little base mana regen, not to mention just an all-around good item, especially when you're going to be relying on damage output coming out of a couple of heroes. TA, namely, with the armor reduction that comes from Meld, combine that with the Medallion, and whoever you happen to focus with those 2 abilities. Or that ability plus that item, I should say, is going to be really susceptible to just being bursted down. Speaking of, oh, Bucking Mad, too far forward. Gets caught out, and Sony popped the God Strength. Didn't even really need to do so. He was completely by himself. No way for them to know that, but yeah. And again, the burst that comes out of Absolute Legends and the squad they've picked is just absurd. Haven't talked a whole lot about Sony. Probably should have. Been focusing more on the support staff. He's already got up his drums, his treads. He's working on a BKB, and a Mask of Madness is up too. They managed to get the Tier 1, and Calculus is going to be caught with the Stormhammer. Down goes the Refraction. Just look at the damage he's able to do. This is without God Strength. Sony, though, going to be caught with a Split Earth. Ayesee there with another big play. Just about saved TA, not quite enough. Ayesee looking to pay the price. It's going to be picked off. Give Bambo another kill. Bambo now having to try and find some safety. Pecan, it's daylight. He's not in any shape to fight. And AL, happy to pull back momentarily. at the very least. 10-8. They now lead this game, and they took a tower for their trouble as well. Take a look at the gold graph. Yep, that's what you'd expect. Approaching 5,000 gold. Hang on, we're going to have a roar from the low ground. Freezer caught out, and the medallions used on him as well. Come with me is there. Still has his Aegis if he wants it. Freezer vacuumed back. It's going to drop. So MYM managing to get another kill on the board as Absolute Legends was taking their exit. They maintain the lead, though. Going to be in the 4,000 to 5,000 range. Experience. Didn't get too much. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Probably double that. And it is approaching 10,000. So, Absolute Legends is in real good shape. And I don't know that they've gotten enough out of their TA. 2-2-1 is just not acceptable when you have a lineup that is this dependent on a TA dominating the mid-game. I mean, TA's had some good plays, gotten a couple of kills. And that's fine. And last hits-wise, though, I mean, not awful. Not great, but not awful. But TA has to be a high-value hero, especially when you're talking about pairing her up with a hero like a Night Stalker. Night Stalker, big weakness is obviously when it's daylight, he's just not that good. But even aside from that, he is not going to outcarry a Sven. No chance. Even if you gave both heroes optimum farm, if you gave them full inventories, Sven just eats his face. Even at nighttime, just doesn't matter. Does not matter at all. The best you can hope to do is get off of silence at night and keep him from going Hulk mode, popping the God Strength. But the War Cry, I mean, if you can keep him off of his abilities, lock him in place, focus him down, fine. But in any real or practical sense, a Night Stalker will never outcarry a Sven. The only way you have a chance is with the armor reduction. Hang on, and the damage out of TA. Shackle Shot's going to catch all. Calculus, big vacuum though, buys him some time. Moving towards MYM, and we're going to have the mechs pop. Come with me, giving chase. Big roar locks him in place though. Good roar out of Bucking Mad. Come with me, has to run. Sony's now at the fight though. Pecan, oh good. Shackle out of Freezer once again. And there's the War Cry. They're going to go ahead and dive behind. Bambo blinks in. There's the Scream and the follow-up Stormhammer on Calculus. Bucking Mad looking for safety. Going to be caught with an Ice Path, though. Power shot enough to seal the deal. Aegis was lost on Come With Me in the meantime to Calculus. Calculus now making a run for the Tier 2. Another good Shackle. Freezer has been money in the bank with every Shackle. Now the meld and the Sentry goes down. And that's a dead Calculus. 9-15. And Absolute Legends has blown this game wide open. Don't think there's any way they can prevent this Tier 2 from going down. And yeah, this is just what we're seeing. At nighttime, daytime, it doesn't matter. And we saw a good example again of Absolute Legends' ability to just chain their abilities together, to just get high value out of them. It really, really hurt MYM to not have the vacuum wall combination available. And this is typical, again. This isn't what you would call a mistake by any stretch. The Nino has intentionally delayed putting a point into it until level 11. Then he'll probably put 2 points in it back-to-back just to maximize the value of the rest of his skill set, Vacuum and Ion Shell. But just think how different that could have been and how clumped up Absolute Legends was at one point or another. If they had had Vacuum Wall at their disposal, it could have been a very different fight. We're actually going to see a Blink Dagger picked up on Sven. Okay, now, this is the second time I've seen this. Hang on, Freezer going to be targeted down, caught out. And that's a good example of the strength that I was talking about a bit earlier. Getting that medallion up on Bucking Mad, not to mention the meld armor reduction that comes out of meld from Calculus. Going to allow you to melt down a single target pretty darn quick. But anyway, they do manage to make up a little bit of ground. 10-15 now. Still favoring Absolute Legends. But I've seen Blink Dagger on Sven one other time. And to be honest, I wasn't that impressed. Sven, hang on. Are they going to engage? Come with me. Showing his war face a little bit. He's kind of giving some face time to MYM. Enough to force them back, and now the rest of AL moving up towards this Tier 2 top to try to defend what they think is going to be a push. The Nino, in the meantime, kind of by himself in mid. Sven and Queen of Pain farming it up, is doing what they need to do to get their late game items. Queen of Pain has completed a Necro book, by the way. It is just level 1, so. But against MYM, it makes a lot of sense, especially if you're talking Vacuum Wall. Not to mention push power, not to mention Leshrac with all of his AoE damage. And that's probably the big purpose of getting the Necro book against, is more or less the Leshrac. I mean, outside of the obvious, which of course would be pushing. But when you've got a Leshrac looking to do a lot of damage in an AoE between Edict and Pulse Nova, he's going to have to really watch himself. I mean, if he kills off one of those Necro creeps, it's going to be bad news for him. And hang on, let's see. Never mind, that's just Ayesee thought maybe engaged on someone. Look, speaking of engagements, though, Absolute Legends wants to fight, giving chasers the blink away from Calculus. So AL is hooked up as a squad, giving pursuit. And Sven showing off, saying, hey, I do have the blink dagger, by the way. GG no re, because I have the blink dagger, and that means I win at life, because I built it on Sven. But anyway, I mean, it helps to be able to get in and out of fights. And, I mean, blink dagger has some inherent utility, no matter what hero it is. It doesn't matter who you put it on. It's going to give you some good things. But 2,100 gold, I mean, that's a Crystallis. That's a Crystallis. I don't know why you would go blink dagger instead of building crit. But anyway, I mean, yeah, like right now, okay, he can blink after them. But if he blinks after TA or the Night Stalker there as he runs up on them, he's blinking into the black. He has no idea what's behind them. And I feel like he's got enough on his team that it really wouldn't be that big of a factor, that extra little bit of mobility. But anyway, he doesn't agree, so he's happy to spend that cash to have a little extra mobility. 24 minutes in, 15-10, and we've got AL rattling their saber in the shadow of this Tier 3 mid. Moving on up, here comes Come With Me. Come With Me as a Necro Book 3 himself. Looking to try and crack this. And again, this kind of comes down to what we were talking about as so far as Lycan's role in the pro scene for the most part. We have not seen him doing what he's known for, which is split pushing. He has been much more active in these team fights. And based on the medallion, I think that was a fair estimation to make that was going to be the case. But anyway, a couple of set of Necro Books, so a lot of Necro creeps. And here we go. Sony's going to go ahead and blink in. Bucking Mad's the target. Down he goes. Locked in place for a moment, but now he's all hulked out and ready to fight. The Nino finally has a point in wall if he wants to use it. There's the vacuum. There's the wall. That's going to help a bit. The Tier 3 does drop in the meantime. Buyback from Beastmaster means they're going to have to retreat. And Calculus isn't done. BKB's going to be popped on Sony. Calculus trying to find some safety. Sonic Wave catches a couple. Bambo giving pursuit on the backside. In the meantime, the Macro Pyre's down. Pecan making a run for it. Come With Me, giving chase to Ayesee along with Bambo. Bambo blinks to the high ground. Ice Path locks him in place. Another good one. Coming out of Mania. Another good vacuum, though. Just no follow-up. Calculus still alive, courtesy of the refraction. The Nino runs back to base, makes it back safely, at least momentarily. All told, though, AL comes out ahead. No, not even talking about the buyback, just in general. 19-10, and they get their first set of racks. And this is problematic. And all of a sudden, Sven's purpose of that blink dagger has been revealed to me. And it makes a lot more sense. I still question if it's worth the 2,100 gold, but all of a sudden, I get it. I get it. You have shown me the light, Sony. The purpose, I believe, was just for Beastmaster. Talked about it all throughout this cast, the value of Beastmaster in interrupting and locking down one target for them, especially Sony, who's dependent on a BKB to keep him safe and allow him to get on people and stay on people as the Sven. Warcry, again, helps with that a lot. But the one hero who could really confound things, if you're in AL's shoes, was that Beastmaster. And now with that blink dagger, and he held on to that. I mean, there was a lot of chances he could have engaged up the hill like he did. But he waited until Beastmaster was isolated, and they knew they could bring him down. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, for the most part, that blink dagger purchase was to do what he just did there, which was target fire this guy right here, Bucking Mad. Freezer's going to be caught out completely. Moved in with smoke. Smoke up on MYM, so they get another kill on the board, helping to narrow the gap a little. That gap has increased considerably, though. 15,000 gold. Now separating these two squads. And Aegis would certainly help with that if you're in MYM shoes. Coming up on 20,000 experience, so yeah, still bad news. And this is when things really begin to be worrisome. 3 of the 5 top farmers are from AL. And more to the point, Sven is doubling up the farm of the highest farmer on the side of MYM. He's at 15,000 at 7,500 for Night Stalker. So this is a game that you don't want to call a game over before it's over, but this is no longer a game that MYM can muscle themselves back into. MYM does not have the option at this stage of just going, okay, we're just if we get a good fight and we have the punching power to go 5-on-5 now. That moment is over now. MYM is going to have to play ultra defensive, ultra conservative, and they're going to have to punish mistakes from AL. And so far, we haven't seen a whole lot of that. I mean, they've occasionally picked off Windrunner. It seems like Windrunner's always been the one out of position. And yeah, Ayesee now in trouble. Blink up, Sonic Wave. Makes the blink irrelevant. But, yeah, I think that illustrates the point fairly well. Is he was out too far. Given they have 0 map control, especially on this bottom half of the map, no business being out there in the dark. And as safe as it would seem to be, given how close it is to your own jungle, it just isn't. I mean, AL has complete control of the map at this stage of the game. And now they're going to go ahead and go on Come With Me. Now, this is the kind of thing they need to do. Come With Me trying to split push. This is a mistake they can punish. They can bring him down. They're going to be able to delay any inevitable push out of AL. However, in the meantime, down at the bottom side, they've already engaged. So they tried to move out, kill Come With Me. They dedicated a lot, didn't even get the kill. And this is the second set of racks. This is going to be GG. Has to be. There's no way they can play their way back into this now. Way too far out, and only one lane to focus on. And given how many Necro creeps they're going to have, I mean, they've got 2 Necro books, not to mention the inherent pushing power of a Lycan. I mean, it's, yeah, this game is over. They could just basically slow push this top lane infinitely, and it's just not going to matter. MYM has no option. They're not going to be able to fight this out at all. We'll wait on the official calls, but yeah, now 3 of the top farmers. I mean, just look at that, in double digits in net value for Absolute Legends. This has been a really well-executed game for them. I feel like their priorities have been straight the entire game. They've made use of all of the abilities in their arsenal. Their options have they've always selected the best of their options in terms of how to play and how to use those abilities. And even when they've been caught out, MYM has not punished them nearly as well as they should. Calculus going to catch. Going to be caught out. There's a follow-up and a big roar. Locks Sony down. Big vacuum wall. Best one of the entire game, but the damage output too high with the Basher on Come With Me and his ability to pursue. No way to run away from the Wolfman. Oh, what a shackle. Freezer all game long has just been money in the bank, and that should be that. Night Stalker is going to buy back, try to defend. They're going to go out on their feet. I can respect that. It just doesn't matter. Bambo has just gone off. The guy has dominated this game. He's going to finish up 11-1, and there's the GG well played. The Nino says, don't fountain dive. I agree. I don't like the fountain dive. I agree, Bucky Matt. I agree completely. But they're going to end on a high note. Ultra kill for Bambo. The rest of MYM leaves. But yeah, as I was saying, I feel like this is a good game to show to people who want to say, okay, what makes professional teams so good? In many cases, what makes professional teams so good is understanding your lineup and its limitations, understanding your lineup and what it needs to do to maximize its potential, and more than anything, understanding the strengths of your opponent's lineup and finding ways to mitigate any strength that they might have. So, the Ancient is going to drop. MYM versus AL. This has been RepCast number 4. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll go ahead and pop up the static scoreboard screen here in just a moment. But again, hope you guys enjoyed watching this as much as I did making it. And that's another RepCast in the books. Hope you guys enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed making it. You can find links to my other media as well down in the video description. Hope to have you back in the future. On Mondays and Wednesdays, I'll be releasing future RepCasts, and every Friday, I'll be answering viewer mail via my mailbag segment. So make sure you don't miss a bit of that action. Go ahead and hit subscribe here on YouTube, and hope you'll follow me on Twitter as well, on Facebook. And again, you can find all of those links right below the video. Until then, take care. See you soon.